In this video, we're going to make it so that when we attack our enemy and he attacks back, he's going to face us. Now, in order to do this, we need to know what side of the enemy we're on. Now, this is where there's a few ways to do this. There are things called transform inverse points, and that will basically say, hey, get the relative position between the enemy and the player. But another thing that we can do, and what's super valuable in game development, is the direction formula. And essentially what we can do is we can get the direction vector that says, hey, the enemy points to, or a directional path, like for instance from the enemy to the player, and we can basically detect what that direction is. And if it's positive, I'm on the right side, and if it's negative, I'm on the left side, because essentially it's creating a vector in that direction. So to do this, what we need to do here is pretty simple. We're going to basically create a vector that's going to store the direction from the enemy to the player. So let's open up our script here, and let's go inside our skeleton code. Inside here, we're going to add, beneath where we're calculating our distance, we're going to add in a direction. So here we're going to say vector3 direction. We're going to say vector3 direction. And we're going to equal that to the direction formula. And the direction formula is destination minus source. This is going to give us a vector length of where our player is relative to our enemy. So here we're going to say destination, which is our player. So here we say player.transform.local position, and our source. The source is going to be our enemy, which is our transform.local position. Now that we have this, what we can do here is we can simply debug.log the x direction. Let's go ahead and say direction, or let's go ahead and say side. And we'll append the direction.x. And what this is going to allow us to do here is if the direction is a positive number, then the player is on the right side of the enemy, and if it's a negative number, the player is on the left side. And using that logic, we can then tell the enemy when it attacks, based on that logic, which direction it should be facing. So based on the direction, we're going to flip him. So let me go ahead and run that again because I fell. You'll see here at the bottom it says side. So over here it says side. So right now it's positive because we're on the right side, and if I go to the left side, it's now negative. So -2 on the left, and if I go right, it's now positive. So based on that information, whether it's positive or negative, we know which way our enemy should face. So what we need to do now is actually just tell him to do that. So go ahead and using the direction logic, when he gets into combat mode, go ahead and tell him to face the player. I'll see you guys in the challenge review.